Shout out to all my guys and goddesses checking out this video. I am C, the spiritual goddess, here for another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about quite a few topics. We're going to talk about Eve and Nicki, what Eve had to say about Nicki. We're going to talk about the whole Cardi B and Offset drama, Beyonce and Jay-Z losing followers, child, and so much more. If this is something you want to watch, go ahead and stay tuned. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Shout out to everyone that's been entering in my giveaway. For those of you who don't know, I am doing a tarot giveaway. I'm going to be doing these quite often. So all you have to do is just check out the current next 48-hour reading that I posted. This one is the money edition, and you can enter that there if you want to win a reading. Shout out to all the winners who won the last one, but I will be doing these often. So if there is something you want to enter, check that out. I'll pin the link below. Also, if you do want to book a reading with me, I do have 50% off all phone and text readings. The sale is winding down, so go ahead and take advantage of that if that's something you like to do. Let's go ahead and get in this video. I want to first talk about Eve and Nicki. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Nicki Minaj. I'm definitely an OG fan of Nicki Minaj. But I'm a fan of female rap in general, and one of my first rappers besides Lil Kim and Foxy Dallas was Eve. Eve was that girl. For those of you who wasn't around during the Eve era, you know I'm older. I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. Let me tell you, Eve, when she was like, Eve was original it girl, okay? When she was out, when I tell you you couldn't get away from her reign. Like, I had some fetish. I was a teenager wearing some of her fetish clothes. I used to watch her show. Scorpion is one of the best female rap albums. One of the best female rap albums. I definitely feel like of this time you could play it. I still play that album straight through. I appreciate Eve. She's always been real. She recently released her book, and I was thinking about reading it on Patreon. But she actually talked about her feelings for Nicki Minaj. Now, you know what's crazy to me? People always say Nicki has an attitude, but if you wasn't really there, like really had your finger on the culture when Nicki first came out, like you wouldn't know. Nicki got a lot of hate from female rappers. I remember there was this video, and if I can remember, I'll post it, when Shauna was hating on her. Matter of fact, it was a lot of girls in the My Chick Bad remix Ludacris did. A lot of girls that was posted there, they felt some type of way about Nicki. I remember this one special that came on BET. I think it was called like My Mic Sounds Nice. And when they got to talking about Nicki Minaj, you could just feel the hate, the low-key shade that a lot of the female rappers had. You know, Deb said this actually in one of her interviews. When Nicki came into the game, she got a lot of hate from a lot of the veteran female rappers. And people like to rewrite history and say, like, Kim was hating on Nicki, then Nicki ended up turning around doing the same thing to the girls. No. What's happened to the new girls, quote unquote, was nowhere near what happened to Nicki. Nicki went around to labels and they told her that female rappers were outdated. There was no actual money in them. You had other female rappers who dissed her because they didn't like the buzz she had coming up, and to be honest, they felt threatened. They didn't see her having a space, you know what I mean? And there was this whole thing. A lot of female rappers had loyalty to Kim, so they like surrounded her and just shut Nicki out. And if you're an OG barber, you remember this, just because they didn't want her coming in. So Nicki paid homage to a lot of the girls. She paid homage to Kim. She paid homage to Foxy and Missy. I can remember in particular. But let's go back into this. So going back to what I was about to say about Eve. Eve basically came out and said, you know, because of that, it could only be one female rapper rule that the industry created. When Nicki came on the scene, she felt a little intimidated, or she felt some way, but she realized it was just something with her, and she actually had to go to therapy. She was actually more aware enough to go to therapy and actually realize, like, you know, this is a me issue. You get what I'm saying? And I see some fans trying to make it like shady of them to showing love, which is so unfortunate. You know, one thing I want to say, I applaud Eve for being transparent and doing what I feel like a lot of women should do, because even though we're talking about rap, I really kind of want to like move this to other situations, because I know, being personally myself, and I know a lot of other women have been in situations where you've worked at like just a regular job and women feel threatened, a woman feel threatened and actually targets you for whatever reason, their insecurities, and they project it onto you. If you're a woman, you understand where I'm coming from, especially as a young woman. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand. I remember in particular, and I always want to tell the story time. I remember, and I may do a detailed one if you guys want me to, but I worked for this insurance company. I'll never forget that I had encounters with women feeling like, you know what I'm saying, jealous in the workplace, or feeling like it can only be one. But that was one particular situation that really stuck out for me. I came in as a temp at this insurance job one time. And it was a lot of older women there. And I'll never forget that experience. Really kind of was a hell experience dealing with women. It was mainly women on the job, women boss. I remember them coming in feeling threatened because you had the workers who was there, and I didn't get it. They were making $25 an hour. I came as a temp through an agency, only making $12.65 an hour. So it wasn't like I was trying to take their job. This job I knew was a temporary job, but for some reason they had an issue. And the thing about it was, they, especially in call centers, I noticed this when it's a lot of women in call centers, especially women of color, but a lot of women in call centers. If there's a new girl that comes in and she gets attention from the few men that's there, even if the women aren't talking to the men, they feel some type of way and feel threatened, and they try to railroad. But when I tell you, this job really kind of made me, this was like one of the jobs before the last call center job I had that made me question ever working in a call center again. It got so ugly there with women. I remember having a medical emergency. So for those of you who don't know, I had endometriosis, and another thing I have, which was a side effect of a birth control I had to get on for endometriosis, was vertigo. When I first had my vertigo spell, I remember passing out, and one of the women was so hateful and so, I want to say jealous, but I really feel like just hateful. I can't even say jealous. That she actually told me as I'm passing out, like, because no one wanted to take, like, someone, the hospital was right across the street. Someone was like, just take her over across the street to the medical. Those women was so spiteful and so, in fact, to be honest with you, evil. They was acting like they didn't really want to. And this woman actually came and told me, I don't like you. Mind you, I never had a conversation with this woman. I don't like you or what you stand for, but I don't want you to die, so I'll take you over there. What type of thing is that to say to someone while they're passing out? Like, that's crazy. But if you guys want me to tell that story time, I'll tell it. But I say all this to say, a lot of women need to do what Eve did. A lot of women need to go and take themselves to therapy. A lot of women, have this, they can only be one queen syndrome. And what they end up doing is they end up projecting. Like, I see it all the time, no matter what field you are in, if you're a woman. Not even just the rap field. Like, it could be, like I said, work. I even see it on YouTube sometimes. I personally never had experience with myself, but I've seen other women YouTubers come down on other women YouTubers because they feel like it can only be one in that spot. Or they always got to project like someone's jealous of me and all this stuff. And then watch the people who always want somebody to be jealous of them too. Those people who always want somebody to be jealous of them have some real deep, serious issues. And a lot of times they be projecting themselves. But yeah, I was thinking about doing a story time. If that's something you guys want me to do about my call center horror experience. I have like a lot of job horror experience. I was thinking about doing story times. If that's something you guys want me to do, let me know. I'll be happy to do it, okay? Alright, so the next subject I want to talk about is this young Dolph trial. I want to talk about this because I predicted everything that was going to happen. I am thinking about making that Patreon video public. It'll probably be public around the time this video comes out. For those of you who don't know, the group of young men was charged for young Dolph murder, and they implicated Yo Gotti's brother and Yo Gotti's label has been implicated within this trial. I told you guys this is the beginning of the downfall of Yo Gotti's label, CMG. I think that's what it's called. If I was Glorilla and if I was Angela Simmons and Moneybagg Yo, I will go away far from this. My predictions are coming true with this case, and I really do feel like this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of the downfall. I'm really kind of on an intuitive level. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm worried for some of his artists because I can see his artists getting caught in the crosshairs because of all of this. So I just wanted to say, look out for me putting out that video, but I'm really worried about the artists surrounding. But I do feel like, don't be surprised if CMG goes through what Murder Inc. went through. For those of you who don't know, Murder Inc. was implicated in some crimes and ended up shutting down the label. I can see that happening. I also see, and this is going to tie into my next topic, this being tied between Jay-Z in some way, because for those of you who haven't been looking, Jay-Z, like, I predicted this, a couple other psychics predicted this, but I think I was one of the first ones that said Jay-Z is going to go down. It's going to happen slowly but surely. It's already happening. It's happening to people around him, and it's starting to circle around him. I don't know if you see that little scandal that's going on with the casino he's trying to build right now and everything like that. Just, I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of things that comes out, and it's going to start with everyone who's associated with Jay-Z. You know, Yo Gotti and Jay-Z is supposed to be really, really close, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Yo Gotti's label is on the Roc Nation. So it's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. Did you guys see how Jay-Z and Beyonce lost followers? There's a trend going on TikTok, and people are saying, like, she knows. They're accusing Beyonce of knowing what's going on. There's been stories that's been coming out that's not looking good. We found out, for those of you who used to watch Making a Band, you remember Diddy made them, he used to abuse them contestants. He made Freddie P came out and said he made them walk and go get their cheesecake, and people are saying it was for Beyonce. It's not looking good. People are really coming out, and the Carter's facade is starting to break. I do see, and I'm going to say this again here, I do see it within the next 5 years. I see them not even moving into America. I feel like Jay-Z is planning his move because he knows the sword is coming his way. So I do see them trying to move away to avoid some of this karma, but I don't feel like it's going to happen all the way. So yeah, I feel like this is the beginning of the end of the facade of the Carters. Now, there was rumors that Jay-Z wants to see a divorce attorney. So I will be doing a reading on that coming up right after this for Jay-Z and Beyonce. I haven't decided if I'm going to make it a public or Patreon. I may just make a public reading. But yeah, that's some tea right there. So watch how everything is going to play out with the Carters within the next 5 years. I say by this time next year, they're not going to be in the same light that people see them. And it's already starting to happen now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into Cardi B and Offset. Guys and goddesses, this hot mess. Okay, so you know, I hate that my prediction came true. Because I hate to see a couple break up. But we kind of saw the writings on the wall. I told you guys this divorce was going to get ugly. Now, here's my thing with everybody who's sitting up here saying, like, Cardi wasn't wrong. I'm going to tell you this. In marriage, true marriage, there's no such thing as get back. This is I'm telling you from a happily married woman. When you are married, when you get to the point where y'all start talking about something, getting each other back, whatever, you really get yourself back because y'all both were considered one. You get what I'm saying? So you doing something to get back is getting back at yourself. Secondly, too, that doesn't justify, just because, and we know Offset's a piece of crap, that doesn't justify what Cardi is doing, but it's understandable. Don't get me wrong, but your relationship is done at that point. You get what I'm saying? It's a wrap. So I personally would have never did anything like that. Or even if I did, let's just say I did. I'm no judgment. I wouldn't go online and say that because that's just a reflection of you. But I want to see how this is going to play out. I know you guys are want me to do a read on it, so let's check. Some people think this is a part of her rollout. Let's see. Is this a part of Cardi B's rollout for her album? Is this a part of Cardi B's rollout? No, I don't think this is a rollout, guys and goddesses. I'm not saying she won't talk about this subject on her album, but I think this is really, really over. I know some of you are saying this is just promo rollout. I don't think that. I think, and I told you guys in my reading, I think they're really, really through. I really do think this is going to happen. It's unfortunate because of the kids. Now, I did predict that the custody battle is going to be ugly, but I just want to go ahead and pull on it. Show me how this divorce is going to play out going forward, Spirit. This is going to be really hard on the children. Like, I feel like the children are taking this really hard. This is unfortunate. The kids are coming up really, really tough. Children is going to be a subject. I feel like someone's going to, well, I do feel like, I'll say Offset is going to try to do a custody hearing. Yeah, there's going to be a power struggle. I do see that. It's going to get very, very ugly. I feel like there's going to be some secrets that comes out. Someone's going to be spiteful. And I keep feeling like this is kind of Offset or going to spin, like they're going to tell some secrets, some things. There's going to be some things that come out. It's not over. I do feel like eventually they will get on the same page for the children, but I feel like it's going to get ugly at first. I do feel like that. Yeah. A lot of things that's been hidden in their marriage is going to come out, gods and goddesses. We're going to hear about Offset's gambling problems. I do feel like he has a gambling problem. Money issues we're going to hear about. Yeah, we're going to hear about a lot of things. There's going to be fight. People are going to try to protect their assets. But there's going to be a lot of things. And I've already predicted this, but there's going to be a lot. It's going to get nasty before it gets good. Eventually, they'll be on a good page, but it's going to be a while. Okay, how does Cardi B feel after Offset? Ooh, he said a lot. How does she really feel after what he said online? I personally feel like Offset really... I feel like Cardi B loved Offset more than Offset loved her. I feel like for Offset, she was kind of a come up, if I can be honest with you. Not saying, I know he was famous before, but I also feel like he may have stayed with her because of what she represented, in a sense. Let's see. I don't care how she feels, she's definitely disappointed. I don't care what she tells you. That did hurt her confidence, what he said. Yeah. But she's going to try to get him back and hit him where it hurts. I definitely feel like that. How does Offset feel after everything Cardi B said online? Offset kind of gives controlling. We're not controlling, abusive, manipulative kind of. He feel like he did what he wanted to do. I'm going to be real with you. He wanted to bring her down. He knew where to hit her that hurts. And I feel like he's not done, honestly. He's not done. He's not done. He knows where to hit her at. I feel like he knows how to press her buttons. Cardi B, you can't really let him keep doing that. Like, the best way I'm picking up to handle this dude right here is to ignore him. He's going to try to do everything else to press your buttons because he knows where it hurt you at. I actually see him when she was saying he want to team up with her ops. I feel like he's going to do something really, really soon that's going to piss her off on purpose. So I do see this happening really, really soon. So, child, they a hot mess. I feel like this is an example of people who marry for the wrong reasons in the first place. And this is what happens when you don't have love in the center of your relationship and it's more about sex. That's why I'm getting more so in superficial things. But I'm just glad that Cardi B is knowing her worth and she's moving on. I'm glad Offset, you know what I'm saying, is doing what's best for him because this relationship, yeah. I always want to do a Chinese Zodiac on Offset. I'll probably do that at my Patreon. Make sure you guys join if that's something you're interested in. Also, an announcement for everyone that's in my lounge tier. I'm going to be making updates to my Patreon, in particular the lounge tier, really, really soon. I'm going to keep that number low that's joined in there. So look out for that. It's going to be some changes made to that particular tier, and there's going to be some new features added. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you guys stay tuned. I will be announcing the changes soon, okay? Yeah, so that's all, gods and goddesses. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until then, see you in the next video. Peace.